It's officially time for my annual Notion tour. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. In today's video, I am going to be walking you guys through Notion. I started using Notion about 4 years ago and I have been extremely consistent. Notion is free, which I love, and I use Notion strictly, almost strictly, for long-term planning. So basically just using it as a system or a tool where I can write in future plans and just essentially keep track of future information, more long-term information rather than short-term. There is some short-term information in there, but I feel like not as much as long-term. I also love using Notion for any kind of record keeping. As an example, I love putting our financial information in Notion because then I will always have access to it and I can always reference it month after month, year after year, and that is quite literally my preference. So you'll see kind of what I use my Notion for as we do the tour. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So the main navigation panel for Notion is to the left. So if you come over here to the three lines, you'll see essentially like a drop down menu. You have search, home, inbox, life planner, settings, templates, trash, invite members. I don't invite members, I don't share, like I don't do any of that. I just come in Notion, make my updates and go on about my way. But we are currently looking at my home screen and it has the AI feature up here, or basically this is where I can search for particular information, but it is the AI companion that is for Notion. And then we have my recently visited and then even my upcoming events. Notion has a calendar, which is an app separate from the actual Notion app. It's a Notion calendar app. I do have that on my computer, but I don't really reference it because it is what is an exact replica of my Google Calendar, because that is the calendar that I imported into Notion. So that's where the Notion calendar app draws its information, which I don't really need because I have access to Google Calendar on all of my devices. But these are my upcoming events, and if I click this arrow, it would open my Notion calendar. I don't really come to this page a lot. I don't really have much to do with it, in fact. So we're going to go to my life planner. Now this is the home page to my life planner. My main focuses or elements of my life planner are home, productivity, career, lifestyle, leisure, and finance. I have over here quick links to all of my productivity elements, and then I have this, oh, actually I have a quote. There is no such thing as an intrinsically bad person. That's been my same quote for forever. Also, my Notion is kind of boring because that's what I prefer. I have a widget here which has been here for forever. I have a quick link to my archive, which is where I put a bunch of the information I don't really need in my face, but information that I want to be able to access at some point in the future. I have a quick link to my agenda. I have my calendar here. I don't really, again, use it a whole lot for, I don't really care about the Notion calendar or just the calendar in general. I do like having it here just so I can see like quick dates, like an overview, but I don't really need to know the events of my life here in Notion because I don't open this page a whole lot. I have some wants over here. These are just things that we need for the house and need to purchase at some point, pretty much. Because anything that I want, any small thing that I want, I already bought it. I'm gonna be honest. Whatever I want, I just buy it. I know, toxic. I have packages here. I do have a package that is coming, but it has not shipped. So I don't really need to put it here, but I will just to kind of show you what I would do. I literally would just put the name of the company and then when I'm expecting the package. I would say I'm probably expecting the package by like 5:31, but normally I don't add it until I have the expected date of delivery. And then I have tasks here. So if I have any random task that I want to just add to my Notion so that I can put it in its correct spot at a later date, I'll just add it to this list here. I don't have anything here currently, but because I can easily access Notion on my phone and I have a widget, I can access it on my iPads or whatever the case is. I just like having a little task section on my main screen. And then what I would do is I would put in the task and then at a later date, I would go through and try to assign it to where it actually needs to be. That'll make sense as we go through this. Okay, so that is my home screen from my life planner. So if I click this arrow, a bunch of other templates will pop up. We have my May budget, my May goals, my May social media, my May health, and my May business. But as part of my May goals, I do have other templates. So let's just go into my May budget. This is my May budget. We set up our budget in Notion literally every month. So once May ends, I will duplicate this page essentially and then create a June budget page, and then I would archive the May budget page as well as the rest of these. Anything that's specific to a month would be archived, and then I would just create new templates for the current month or the upcoming month, because I will create the June budget template before May technically ends, but I'll do so by duplicating the May budget template. But this is the May budget template. I have all of our financial goals, tasks, and to-dos over here to the left, and I just come in here every day, every couple of days as I see fit, and I check off things as I accomplish them. I have events for May, just like major events that I anticipated happening in May, and then I have our actual monthly budget. I do not keep up with the ad savings because it's irrelevant to me, but I also have a bills tracker, and so this is cool because it's essentially an overview of how much we spend on bills every month, quarter, and year, as you can see. So I love this. I like putting notes on here about, let's say we get a notification that a bill is increasing, then I'll make that note. Or like for our car insurance, we paid this semi-annually. We just paid it May the 13th. So I have on here due May 2025, but I already paid it, so it would be due November 2025. So I just like keeping up with all of our financial information here. If you scroll down, I have an income section, which you can see a little bit of. I track all of our monthly income there. And if you scroll down further, you'll see an expense section, and that's where I track every single last penny that we spend each month. So I have all of our May income tracked thus far, and I'll continue to track May income as it comes in. And then I have every expense that we have incurred so far for the month of May, and I'll continue to add to that section. And I love it because it does all of the updating of the calculating, all that for me, so I don't have to worry about doing it on the back end. Like so far, our shopping budget for the month was $1,750, and we've already spent $1,574.68, which means technically we have $175.32 left to spend. Might we go over budget a couple hundred? Probably, but it won't be because of lack of trying. But I just love this. I also enter in all of our bills, and then this monthly budget section gets updated as I'm entering in the bills in the expense tracker section. So this is our May budget. We can go to May goals now, and every month I come in here and I update the May goals as well, or the goals as well. So once May is finished, I'll duplicate this page, create the June goals page, and then archive the May goals. The areas of focus for each month remain the same. They're always personal, family, relationships, career, business, and health, but the goals and the tasks do change. Like this month, I am looking to take a personal day on May 31st, but in June, it might be some other random date that I choose to take a personal day. But I'm always going to plan to take a personal day each and every month. Same thing with the books. I'm looking to read these. However, in June, I'll be looking to read different books if I read all of these, of course. So I do come in every now and again and update these throughout the month as well. One cool thing is I do have my yearly goals here, and so it's always at the bottom of every one of these pages. So once I duplicate the May one to create the June goals page, my yearly goals will come over to the June goals page, and I'll always be able to see how I'm doing with my yearly goals. So that's why I do that. I like the monthly goals, which are a reflection of the yearly goals, and vice versa, to be on the same page so I can reference them both at the same time. Now, additionally, in the May goals section, I have a book tracker. So let me show you that. So since I've been using Notion, or more specifically getting into reading, or more specifically tracking my reading, I don't know, I think I confused myself with that long sentence, but what I was trying to say is that I have been tracking my books here. All of that to say. So these are all of the books that I have read since I began tracking them in Notion, not this year. In fact, the first book of 2025, I can click on it and see, but I was just looking at it the other day, and I think it might be A Love Song for Ricky Wilde. No, that was a December book. Master of Me was a December book. Only for the Week was a December, okay. Single Black Female, Art of Scandal was my first book for January. And then if I click load more, you will see all of the books that I have read since January. It's a lot of books, right? Crazy. Yeah, so I am about to start Still Waters. I have a book club meeting this Saturday, so I need to finish this book this week. So this is the book that I am on. I prefer not to add in any book covers or any details of the book unless I've started the book. So I try to wait, but I did go ahead and add Icebreaker and 7 Year Slip. Sometimes I do change around the book order because I do try to line up the books with essentially putting the books that I would like to read next, right after the book that I just finished. So like in theory, I'm going to start on Still Waters this week. This weekend, I'm going to purchase Kennedy Ryan's Can't Get Enough when we go to our book club meeting, which is going to be at a bookstore. So in theory, that would be next. And then I'll probably read Matriarch, and then King of Ashes comes out in June. Definitely going to read that. So that would be next-ish. But all of that to say, I just don't spend a lot of time stressing myself out about this. Basically, when I read the book, that's when I update the information. So let me just show you. I just finished Daring Greatly. And so I have the cover in here, the author, read, rating, when I started it, when I finished it, the genre, the total pages, all of that. So that's my book tracker and how that works. I also have my bucket list in here, which is a bucket list. There's two. There was a fall 2024 bucket list, and then there is a 2025 bucket list. I can show you. It's not a secret. Actually, I think I deleted the fall bucket list. So this is technically my 2025 bucket list. It is something that I created in 2024. So in theory, it's just a bucket list. It doesn't matter when I accomplish these things. I just want to, but I am aiming to accomplish most of them in 2025. But if that doesn't happen, it's okay. They can roll over to 2026. Anytime I think of just something that I've always wanted to do but never did, I put it on my bucket list. A lot of the things that I want to do, I immediately go ahead and go and plan to do them, but certain things I just add to my bucket list. So sometimes I'll have bucket lists for different seasons. Like I may add a summer bucket list, might not, but that's where my bucket lists reside. This is my social media section. I have all of my videos in here. So if I click on, let's say, March social media, you'll see all of the information for the March videos. I do short form videos occasionally, but really I'm just a YouTuber and I create long form content. So each month I like to plan out the videos, when I will film them, edit them, publish them, and then the status, which would be either not started, in progress, or done. So I have, since I've been using this template, I have all of the videos from each month. So I don't know when this started, but it's a lot. Okay. I also have sponsorship information. So this is a running list of all of the sponsorships that I have had over the last several years. And I track kind of the same information when I am planning to film the video, edit the video, submit the video to the brand, publish the video, and then if they have paid me or any details about payment. Also for speaking engagements, same exact information, but more so like when the brand or company or whomever contacted me, when the event is that they would like for me to speak at, and then other pertinent information related to the speaking engagement. And then also I have a finances section. This is for my YouTube business brand, social media brand or business. This is not for personal finances. So this is all of my financial information for all of these different months. So that's the social media section. And then let's see what else is in down at the bottom. Oh, my 2025 Q2 quarterly planning template. So this is a planning template that I update each quarter. So these are all of the tasks that I am looking to accomplish or things that we have coming up for Q2. And I like to separate them by months. So I have all the April tasks, the May tasks, the June tasks that are related to personal finance and spouse. And then the parental, relational, and professional tasks are outlined here. And then the vocational, spiritual, and miscellaneous tasks are outlined, or not really outlined, I guess, defined here and by month. And then I have other information down here as well. So basically a hodgepodge of information. I had to move my eye doctor appointment to June because I had to go to a funeral. So, back up. Why is that there? I don't know. And normally I just erase things as they take place. Like we already paid my husband's tuition, so I can just erase it from May. And these are just the thoughts and ideas, definitely 100% just a brain dump of information. So that's what that's about. Okay, moving out of the Q2 quarterly planning page. I also have a quarterly planning template, and this is something that I made available for free to my viewers. So I'll have this linked down below. And I don't know if I can delete that page, so I just leave it there, and I have it down here in the bucket list, even though this actually, I can change this. That used to be bucket list, but it's not. So really, I can just delete this actually, and it doesn't have to have a title. So that is the May goals section. So again, once I duplicate May goals and create the June goals page, all of that information will come over, every last bit of it. That's just the way that I like to do it. I also have my May social media here. So as an example, I'm filming this Notion tour. I will edit it tomorrow and I will publish it Wednesday. It's technically in progress. And then these are the videos that I'm aiming to complete for the rest of May. I have May health, and this is where I basically track recipes if I choose to. I don't really have a bunch in here, but occasionally I will put a recipe in here. I have my fitness plan in here. I have essentially information regarding the workouts that I can complete, like the workout classes that take place at the gym, etc., etc. When line dancing classes are. Basically, if I am wanting to change up my workout for any particular day, I can come here and look and see what's happening. Like today, I can always go cycling. And this is stuff that I like to do, by the way, not just like random stuff, but I can go cycling, which is riding my bike, my actual bike. I could go to step cardio today because it's on Monday. I could go to body pump today because it's on Monday. I can always go walking. And then I have line dancing. I haven't been to line dancing in some weeks, but I have that here. And then scrolling up, I actually have our meal plan here as well. So as an example, I normally meal plan every 3 days. So for lunch today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, we're having spaghetti and It's really corn on the cob. So I would update that for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then honestly, we'll probably have the same thing for dinner as well, because my husband cooked a huge pot of spaghetti. That's like our go-to meal, you know, not our preferred meal by any means, but if we are running behind or, you know, just don't have the energy to meal plan anything fancy, we just do spaghetti and corn on the cob as well, because it takes very little time to cook spaghetti and corn on the cob. So that's what he meal planned yesterday on Sunday, and just judging by how many containers he filled up, we'll probably have spaghetti for lunch and dinner for 3 days, which is no problem for us. For some people, not so much. We normally do every 3 days, because after eating the same thing for lunch and dinner for 3 days, you can imagine we're ready for a change. So we'll eat something else Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. Saturdays we normally eat out for real, but I don't like to stress myself out. I will figure out I guess I'll meal plan for the second half of the week, and I'll be thinking about that now, and then I'll order the groceries and all that probably Wednesday, so I can cook dinner Wednesday, cook a lot, which then becomes leftovers, aka our meal plan for Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. That's pretty much how that works. So it's not quite filled in right now because, well, I didn't do the meal planning for this week. My husband did, so I didn't need to fill in this, but that's how that would work. I just wanted to update it. So that's May health. So I repeat that every month. And then finally, we have May business. So this looks pretty much like our personal budget in that we have the budget here. I track the business income here, and then the business expenses here as well. So that's what that is about. And then all that's left really is the archive. So these are all of the pages that have been archived. So instead of deleting pages, I just archive them, and then I can come here and access pretty much any page that I've ever created from the time that I started Notion until now. As I mentioned, I archive all of the templates each and every month. The only one I don't really archive and I just change is the health one. So instead of creating a new page, I don't really do that. I'll normally just change this to the new month. Like if I'm going to do this for June, I would change May to June. I would delete all of the meal plan, and then I just leave the fitness plan alone and the recipes. But for the others, I just archive them so I can access that information. I don't need to know what meals I was eating 3 years ago. I mean, the recipes, yes, which I don't duplicate this page, so the recipes stay there anyway. But I don't need to know what I was eating, and I don't really need to know like any of the information on this page for real. So that's why I normally don't duplicate this and I just update it. But that is my Notion. It's not very difficult. I don't think. It's pretty simple. It doesn't have a lot going on. It's pretty plain Jane, but it works for me. And again, it might not look like a whole lot, but mainly all of the information lives in the archived section. So that's why my Notion looks pretty chill, pretty simple, pretty non-complex, because a lot of information lives in the archive section, as you can see. That's a lot. Okay, so that is my Notion and the setup for 2025. It looks pretty similar to 2024 and 2023 and 2022. I don't have major plans for changing it much for 2025 for like the duration of the year. So that's what it's probably going to look like at the end of the year. I cannot see myself purchasing like a new life planner template or spending a bunch of time trying to make it pretty or cute or decorative, because I just don't want to do that. Plain and simple. I feel like it works perfectly fine as it is, and I definitely didn't want to build my templates from scratch, which is why I purchased that life planner. But the life planner actually includes way more templates. Like there are templates for tracking movies and TV shows, and I could go on and on and on about how many templates came with the planner, but I don't use all of them because I don't use Notion to track every single thing. Like I don't even really watch TV, so there would be no need for me to track TV shows or whatever. There are so many other templates. So that's one beauty in purchasing a template for Notion instead of trying to create your own or piece together free templates, which is what a lot of people do. It makes a lot of sense to just purchase a bundle of all the templates that you think you could ever need, and then you can do away with the ones that you don't need. Or for me, I haven't done away with them. I just don't have them as part of my main templates. They're archived essentially. And should I want to reference them at a later date, I can just bring them out of the archive. So that's my Notion tour 2025. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give this video a like. Subscribe if you're new and if you're liking what you're seeing. And I will catch you guys right back here in a few days in a brand new video. Bye guys.